podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
You're listening to Achtung, Millwall, broadcasting from the beautiful South Birmingham. Accept no substitute.
Well, hello, good afternoon and welcome, dear listeners. Welcome, Yucky Dar in actual fact. Welcome to South Wales, to Swansea, Abertow as it's known locally, for the visit this afternoon to the Lions. Swansea City versus Millwall in the Championship. It's a 12:30 kick-off game, a Sky TV game, but I've decided to make the journey down here. Well, why not? What the hell? We've got Lions this afternoon. Interesting lineup, dear listeners. Bender in goal. Back four, the usual suspects. Ryan Leonard, Tristan Palmer, Jake Cooper and Joe Bryan. Midfield five I'm going to go with. That's including Mezusaku, Smallbone, Brian Smallbone starts this afternoon. Massimo Luongo, is his name right? Turno Ballo and Idemo Marco up front. Josh Coburn, who could use a goal, couldn't he, dear listeners? So that's an interesting lineup on the bench. Quite an attacking bench, in truth. Crocombe in goal. Crocombe spare goalkeeper. Sturge, Taylor, Mitchell, return of Billy Mitch. Ivanovic is on the bench. Neg is on the bench. McCauley, Langstaff, Reece Bangura Williams. What does he have to do to get a start? Dear listeners, and Wes Harding. So there's quite an impactful bench, in my humble opinion. So here we are on a fairly grey, sun-fading kind of morning in the valleys of South Wales at the Liberty Stadium, Swansea.com Stadium as it's known these days. 810 travelling Lions have made the journey down to Swansea on this Saturday morning, including myself. I wasn't going to come, but you can't beat being at the game. It's on the telly, isn't it? You can't beat being at the game, dear listeners, can you? And in the end, temptation won out. So here I am. The pitch has been liberally sprayed, emerald green pitch. I'm behind the north stand, the away end. It's a nice stadium. I quite like the Liberty Stadium. I'm going to call it Liberty Stadium for the remainder of the game. It's Swansea.com Stadium. It's a nice ground. Holds 21,000, built in 2005, opened in 2005 after Swansea City departed the old Vetch Field, which is nearer the centre of town apparently. This is out on a kind of a shopping centre, about a mile and a half walk or a very short bus ride, which is how I've got here this afternoon, dear listeners, so stay tuned. It's a very strange kind of white noise, low note being played around the stadium, dear listeners, while Cyril the Swan tries to jolly up the Swansea fans out there. It's a very odd choice of build-up. It must build up some kind of crescendo. Totally at odds with the Saturday morning half-filled stadium vibe, but there we are. Kind of like a Buddhist chant almost, isn't it? They're big on flags down. There's the Welsh Dragon and the black and white swan flag to my left. The same at the other end, there's a white swan flag down there. And here come the players. There's your crescendo. Lions this afternoon in all black with red trim. Swansea, of course, in all white, which apparently were the colours they derived from the local rugby union club, Leith. Swansea, rather. Also playing all white. Historically, rugby union being the biggest sport in the valleys of Wales, dear listeners, as you all know. Swansea City, originally Swansea Town, played in all white as a consequence. Stephen Bender taking your balls with the away fans. I had the pleasure of meeting with Lucas Jensen in a week at the show on the Prostate United initiative. Great to meet him. Lovely bloke, lovely boy. Very, very tall guy. Incredibly tall. I don't class myself as a short cast listeners, but by the side of him I feel like I'm standing in a hole. There we go then, listeners. Lions will be defending our away end in the first half, so we will be attacking the away end in a second. I don't know if Ben will be mentioned Swansea. We will be kicking off. It's going to be Josh Coburn to kick the game off. That is in accordance with, I think, the spirit of what the Venerable B would have wanted for us. Welsh songs from our left. Away we go. Bit of early defensive work for the Lions. 1 minute on the clock, the stadium clock. In it comes, bouncing around. Falls to the 8, chance for a shot. That's deflected wide for another corner. A bit of a early scare for the Lions there. It was a shot on target. This is Swansea again on their right as a ball into the box. So early moments here for the Lions to contend with. 8 minutes in, not huge amounts to report. There was that one shot on target from Swansea which was deflected for the corner. Otherwise it's been not much to report so far, listeners. Welsh flag down to my left with Wales, Golf, Modric. Did I see Luka Modric has bought into Swansea? Am I right? I don't know why I'm asking you. You can't reply. Maybe that's the origin of that flag. Like Wales, Golf, and Modric with the Welsh dragon on it, and the Union Jack over there. The Swansea written on it. Talking to two of the boys outside. Didn't get their names, but shout out to the two chaps I was talking to. They're saying that Swansea see themselves as British rather than Welsh. That's a new one on me, if so. Whereas Cardiff see themselves as the epitome of Welshness, but there is a Union Jack over on the left as I look, so I don't know. Questions of identity. As Polystyrene would have said, identity. Breaks, this is a chance in the 27, breaks into the box. Evades Brian, there's an opportunity of a shot. 1-0, slapped in from close range. 35 shot, deflection off the 9. Sloppy defending in truth, the ball across the box, evaded Joe Bryan. Put back into the danger zone and then the 9 tucks it home from the 30. 1-0 Swansea, whatever. Goal. With an accent over the O. I didn't leave my home at 7 o'clock this morning for slack defending like that, listeners, I can tell you that much. Slightly carving us apart at the moment. Let's come down the right side. It's the 35 on the left as I look. Millwall defence not doing a great job of clearing their lines at the minute, listeners. It's a bit panicky, but that is finally hoofed into the air by Idemo Marku. Knocked down from Coburn, finds Ballo on the left side. Ooh, slap shot there from Small Bowl, just wide left to the post. Looked like it was played back into him by Marku. 14 minutes. Bit of slack control by Jake there, listeners, as you might have detected. The aroma of exotic Jamaican blended tobacco wafts across the away end there, listeners. Ball breaks for Swansea. 17 minutes now, listeners. They go 2 up, then I fear for us a little bit. Ball into the right side of the box for them. Cleared by Cooper, but not very far. We're under the cosh a little bit at the minute, listeners. They're playing some nice stuff and we don't really have much vim. Space now, this is the 30 shot. Ooh, that just wide right. That was close run thing, listeners. Shot from 24 yards out. 18 minutes. Lions living on their nerves. That's fascinating, isn't it? People think singing Bubbles is going to have some impact. Would we sing Welsh songs? I don't think we would do, listeners. Anyway, that's... Can't quite make that one up. Here come Swansea in the meantime. Oh, that's a blast wide from the 27. Defence looks half asleep out there, listeners. That was a ball break inside the penalty area for the 27. Probably will feel he should have done a lot better with that. That's 19 minutes. We dodged another bullet. 20 minutes. 20 minutes of not very much from the Lions, apart from conceding the goal and dodging bullets, listeners. Bender, curious mixture of world-class saving and awful delivery, awful distribution. Just put that straight into touch. A 45-degree slice, listeners. All inside, small boned on the edge of the penalty area. What will he do? He's drifting inside. His shot is about 2 miles wide. Nice move though. Leonard Frieding, small bone, he drifted inwards, and his shot was, found wanting, but it's a nice idea. First moment, however flimsy a moment it was of the half for Lions. Sun has come through the mist I was talking about, the greyness. But there's a strange kind of soporific quality to the game. From a Millwall perspective, anyway. Ballo has done well, chasing down a lost cause diagonal there. It's inside to Ballo again, shot, no power on it, down, goal kick, done really well though. Good persistence there by Turno. Ballo chasing a lost cause. No power on the shot, unfortunately. 30 minutes. 1-2. This is Mazu Saka on the right side now, drifted right. Pulled into the box, it's headed clear, aiming for Coburn there. That's better. Bit of movement, 35 minutes. Does this constitute Millwall pressure, listeners? I don't know. The ball's been down at the far end for a minute or two now, so maybe it does. In comes a long throw. Up in the air, bouncing around. Coburn pulls left. Joe Bryan, little chip cross. It falls to Ryan Leonard. Wins a corner. That's the first Millwall corner of the game. This was 36 minutes. That one's 37. Right-sided corner. It's a deep one. Over the heads of everybody. So deep, it beat everyone. Ticking towards the 41st minute, listeners. Pulled into the box. Coburn in the middle. It looked like he was under attention with a 5. That looked like a good chance from this distance. Ball rolled in from the right side into Coburn. That looked like a big moment. It's gone over the bar. The 5 was there with it. Maybe it's come for a corner in that case. Some comment about Coburn's talents, dear listeners. Ball breaks in Marku. What's the mid part of the Swansea half? This looks like Joe Bryan. Shot blocked. 44 minutes, dear listeners. Slight sense of the Lions coming back into things in the last 5 minutes or so. That looked like a big chance that went begging though with Josh Coburn earlier on. It may cost us. So Millwall free kick, left side. 45 minutes, how much extra time? We've got 1 minute to play with. Joe Bryan to take it, dear listeners. Left-sided free kick, maybe 10 yards inside the Swansea half. So he can shoot. This is Ballo. One ball wide right, is headed back into the middle. Headed in by Josh Coburn! Didn't the boy need that, listeners? Headed back from the left-sided cross into the middle. I think it was Coburn that got the final touch there. Loops into the net, 1 each. Well, after that howler a few moments earlier, that's good for the boy. Lions have looked a little bit strong the last few minutes, as I've just said. Starting to move the ball ourselves a little bit rather than be on the receiving end of the Swansea passing. And that was a classic kind of centre forwards goal. Ball back into the middle, headed, loops in from Josh Coburn. 1 each, dear listeners. And there's half time. Late equaliser by Josh Coburn. Strange half of football in that case. Obviously, for the most part, I thought we were second best. Very little in the way of Millwall action to describe. We were the goal behind fairly early on, and we looked like we were chasing. They dodged a few moments one way or the other. But anyway, the late equaliser solves 1,000 problems. Half time then. Or Hannah Mamsa, that must be Welsh for half-time. Hannah Mamsa. 1-1.
You walk in tired and hungry. One bad dinner away from losing it. You don't like to cook. You don't want more takeout. You just want something good. That's why there's Dish by Blue Apron. Pre-made meals with at least 20 grams of protein and no artificial flavors or colors. From fridge to fork in 5 minutes or less. Keep the flavor. Ditch the subscription. Get 20% off your first 2 orders with code APRON20. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
I want to give a shout out to our friends John Kelly and Will Scott over at News at Den. Many of you will know that News at Den is the go-to site for everything Millwall. It's part of the Southwark News, the only newspaper with a dedicated Millwall reporter who follows the Lions all over the country. What you may not know is that Southwark News is an independent small business with no investors, no big media company, nor multi-millionaire owners. It's a rare breed, a local paper for local people. And John and Will get the Millwall stories that no one else can. A lot of their stuff is free to read, but the in-depth pieces are for subscribers only. It's just £3 a month or £30 a year, and we think it's a proper bargain. By paying, you're supporting local journalism done the right way. You can sign up by visiting southwarknews.co.uk and clicking on the News at Den section. southwarknews.co.uk. Click on News at Den Plus. Well, here are the two teams ready for the second half, listeners. I thought we dodged a bullet, in truth, a few times in that first half, but we did well to claw our way back towards the end of it, and then obviously the equaliser late by the beleaguered Josh Coburn. Great to see him get on the score sheet. Let's hope that does his confidence a power of good. The boy needs it. He missed one a few moments earlier on. I thought he might have been bundled up. I haven't seen it. There's no replay in the stadium. But good to see him find the back of the net. Let's leave it there. Anyway, teams are ready to go. Swansea are going to kick us off attacking their... Is it a home end? I don't know. And the Lions will be attacking the away end in the second period. Away we go. This is a break forwards for Swansea. I thought we made them look quite dangerous in the first half, listeners, so it's going to be interesting to see how it shapes up in the second period, because they probably will feel they should have had more than one goal, in truth. As it is, the football gods have smiled upon us in the Mount Olympus of football and given us a late equaliser, thanks to the eternally unlucky Josh Coburn. But he was lucky with that. He'd done well with the header. It's like a looping header. We were very far away from it down the other end of the pitch. Lions, of course, come into this game just 2 points off of second place, bizarrely, in the early season table. I wouldn't put too much faith on that, at this stage. But if we can get a result here, well, who knows what's possible for the season. That's Swansea ragged ball there into touch. This is Swansea coming down our right. Ball flashes across the middle penalty area, headed clear by Joe Bryan on the far post. Millwall clear. 53 minutes. It's coming to 59 minutes. Not huge amounts to report at the start of the second half from a Millwall perspective. It's been more Swansea possession without any real direct cutting edge chances for either side. So Lions, I suppose you would argue, are hanging on in there. It won't be going down as any kind of football classic so far, though, dear listeners. Take that from me. Lions fans trying to get some energy and some vim and pep out of this Millwall side. Turgid affair, in my opinion. 61 minutes. There's still half an hour, roughly, of action yet to go. The ball breaks. Mazu Saka in the centre circle. It found its way through to Coburn. It just evades his control, dear listeners. Ooh, that's a wild tackle by Joe Bryan. Yellow card, I would think. It is a yellow card. You can't afford another one of those. On the halfway line, on the Swansea right. Corinthian sportsman of the Millwall end booing Millwall putting the ball out of play on purpose there. Swansea man down. 64 minutes, a little bit of improvement from the Lions the last few minutes. It's not been much to talk about, but we've had a few moments of improvement. That's all I'm going to say, listeners. Smallbone leaving us. Langstaff is coming in. Smallbone out, Langstaff in. Listeners, we're on 67 minutes. Negley coming in for Ballo. So Negley and Langstaff in, listeners. So yeah, 67, halfway through the second half. It's been a long pause, injury pause here, so there's going to be some time added at the end of the game. Lions showing a little bit of improvement. I'm going to clutch onto that straw in the water, like the drowning man. As long as it's 1-1, we're in with a shout. So let's keep our fingers crossed, dear listeners. You and me, keep our fingers crossed. Ball through to the middle. This is a 9. Fires the 35. Blasts it high. Wow. Looked like a chance. This is right down the far end. The 9 picked the ball up on the left side of the penalty area, played it back to the 35, or was it 39? Either way, he put it high over the bar. 69 minutes. Marku with a corner in. Chipped in. Deep. Headed over from Kramer. Free header. Probably will feel he should have done better with that. That was a chance for Millwall.
The first substitution of the afternoon for Swansea City. In the field, 35, Ronald. Being replaced by the Swans number 21, Manuel Benson.
A kind of a boxing style announcer here has a talent for making the most mundane things sound like grand events. The introduction of Manuel Madsen, or whatever his name was, for example. Ball down the line for Marku, making a good little run there, but it's going to be picked up. Oh, there's a ball into the box. This runs through. This is Macaulay Langstaff. Oh, we had more time there. That was a great chance, Macaulay Langstaff. It was an awful clearance. He ran in and just put it straight to the man on the line. Wow. He had a moment longer than he thought he had there, listeners. That was a major chance for Millwall to seize the lead. 73 minutes. Massive chance. Bloody hell. Ball down the left flank from Swansea. Flashes across the face of the Millwall goal. Appeals for a penalty. I don't think that's going to be given. That was a chance for them as well. 75 minutes, dear listeners. I'm still reeling from that Macaulay Langstaff chance, in all honesty. I think it must have taken him so much by surprise he couldn't think fast enough. As it was, the shot had no power direction and was picked up on the line by the defender. Oh my giddy aunt, listeners. Why do we do these things? This is a ball down the line. This is Idemo. Cuts inside nicely, He's making a little run. Still in possession, Idemo. Feeds Negley. Ball in from the front. This is Idemo. Shot at the near post. Langstaff is in there. It's a free kick given for the goalkeeper there. Millwall threatening more, listeners. Shot at the near post from Idemo Marku. Goalkeeper got down well, and then Langstaff was sniffing. 76 minutes. Thank God we don't have a drum at a den, dear listeners. That'll drive you potty listening to that week in, week out, wouldn't it? Why am I a miserable old git? What do you think? You set a poll up. Down the middle. This is a chance for Swansea. Brilliant defending by Kramer, dear listeners. That looked like he was through there, that striker. 85 minutes. There was a moment of blood drained from my face there, listeners. Swansea on the left. Ball into the middle. It's a great stop by Bender. Put in from close, couldn't hold it. Oh, it's been given. It's been disallowed. It's like Bender took a knock. Blasted at him. Hard to tell from this distance. Blasted at him. Look like he's gone down at the feet of the oncoming striker and must have got a decision there, listeners. Goal disallowed. Great tackle, Billy Mitchell. Ball breaks. What can Billy do here? Shot, he had Ivanovic free. I think he saw a moment of glory flash in front of his eyes. 7 minutes. There it is. Full-time whistle blows. I suppose that's a point on the road that we regard as a good point away. I can't help but think of chances missed, but there we are. Overall, a good grind of a performance by Millwall against a side that always wanted to pass the ball against us. But the finish is at the Swansea.com stadium. Swansea City 1, Millwall 1. Stay tuned, dear listeners.
Achtung, Millwall.
Well, good afternoon, dear listeners. I was nearly said good morning. It's good afternoon. I'm speaking to Will Scott of the News at Den. Welcome to the show, Will.
Thank you for having me.
In the wake of yesterday's 1-1 draw at Swansea, I actually saw you in the car park down there, Will, didn't I? And I made the rash prediction of a 3-0 win for Millwall, which, in benefit of hindsight, was a rush of blood to the head, mate. I think that was probably like getting overexcited at the prospect of the starting lineup. It didn't look like a bad starting lineup, did it? Bender in goal, backline Leonard, Kramer, Cooper, Bryan, midfield 5. Would you say yesterday in 4-5-1? What would you say the formation was?
There's probably, given how far forward Smallbone pressed, because Millwall, they like to press in that 4-4-2. A lot of teams do, and it felt Smallbone was like that sort of second striker almost. And
right. Okay.
so I thought 4-2-3-1.
Yeah. Well, Mazusaku, Luongo, Ballo, and Marcus Smallbone-ish, and then Coburn. I doing the target man role. Let's just leave it.
Yeah.
Leave it there. But yeah, 3-0. I said, listeners, and that was proven to be woefully mistaken with the benefit of hindsight. It was a funny old game yesterday, Will, because there was good and bad and indifferent in equal measure, I found yesterday. How did you see the game overall?
Well, the first 20 minutes, I was thinking, Millwall sort of sleepwalking into a disaster here.
Yeah.
Which was really disappointing. I felt, Alex has spoken a lot about this season, about his side not being up for it, or not necessarily not being up for it, but not being ready. They're losing duels. They're not doing things you'd usually expect from them. And I felt that 20 minutes was like that again. They were, losing second balls, losing duels. They just it seemed a bit casual as well. There was one moment where I remember, what's the name? The left winger who was
number 27. I've got him down as dangerous.
Yeah. There was one moment where he sort of drifted in and flashed from past the post. I felt everything was a bit too casual, a bit too relaxed. Even for the goal, it was a weird way to give away the ball, and no one really deals with it, and then it goes across, and then they score. But I feel they sort of switched a bit. It was a bit. I could see Alex; he's very expressive, and I always have a great view because the press box is usually above the dugout. I remember there was one moment where Idemo did something. He threw his water bottle down in sort of disgust. He gets very. He's a very animated touchline manager. He's not. He doesn't. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and you could tell he was very frustrated with the first 40 minutes. And then I think they sort of started to settle down a bit, get into the game a bit more. And I think Millwall were worth their goal by the end of it. They probably should have scored. I think I was just personally quite pleased that Coburn, he gets a lot of stick. I've met him a few times. He's a very sort of maybe not withdrawn. I don't know if the right word. He's not as outgoing, and
no, he's a decent boy. I mean, we had a bit of contact with him on the media day. I didn't really speak to him, but you get an impression.
He's just a nice bloke. He's only 22. Down in London, and he was a right handful. I thought, a lot of the time, the Mill will rely on him a lot to be the outlet, to be the sort of guy they can put it up to, knock it down, win second duels. And you can see when they kick it up, the players all move. They sort of swarm around him in preparation of a ball sort of being flicked or nodded on near him. And he has a large responsibility. I thought he handled it well, and I was really pleased he got that goal, because I could already see the Twitter comments after that. I don't want to call it a miss, that opportunity he had that obviously Cabango got in front of. I could already see him coming out, calling him lamppost, persecuting him.
I mean, I was
glad that didn't happen.
I was behind the goal with the away fans, so you get a great view of the end that is being attacked, and the other end. I mean, you need a telescope to see what's going on down there. I mean, the goal In real time, I'm talking about my great view, Will, but I mean, in real time, I hadn't realised that the number 9, who I thought was a strong number 9 from Vipotnik, sounds
Yeah,
like some kind of jazz flutist from the 60s to me, Vipotnik, but there he is,
yeah,
playing number 9 for Swansea, powerful player.
yeah,
Obviously, Mitrovic is always the kind of man you think of when you see a powerful kind of
mm,
strike from that part of the world. Ivanovic would love to be this, I think. But he backheeled it in. I didn't realise in real time that he'd actually backheeled
yeah,
ball back in. Nice finish. You've got to take your hat off to good play. That
yeah,
was a nice finish by Swansea.
yeah,
And I was listening to the extended highlights this morning on the Millwall site, and the must have been the Sky Code commentator mentioned how they've got this style, this originally Brendan Rodgers started this passing style,
mm,
developed by others, including Russell Martin, who's going through a hard time of his own at the moment. But they
yeah,
do pass the ball. I thought they were going to outpass us. I mean, you're right about the opening phase of the game, the first 20, 30 minutes. I thought we were going to be passed to oblivion because we just weren't getting close to the ball, were we? But we
yeah,
did claw our way back, 1-0 down. I thought Small Bone, I really like. I really like him. He had a shot on goal, which was, funny enough, one of the few advantages of being at the end I was at, where you could tell how close it was, and it was, inches wide, kind of a snapshot with a combination with Imaku. But no, we were under the cosh. The the Coburn chance, Will, takes you from villain to hero, doesn't it? Because it was actually great defending by the Swansea defence. Was it Cabango you mentioned?
yeah,
Seeing it on replay this morning, again, I couldn't have told you this in real time, listeners. It was brilliant defending. I mean, you can maybe say that Coburn's got to get there first, and that's maybe the art that he's got to learn in front of goal. But that was fantastic defending to get it up and away from
yeah.
underneath
How
the,
did that
you know,
happen? Because I couldn't tell. Even from my vantage point, it just looked like Coburn had skied it from,
yeah,
you know.
that's what it looked like from our end.
Yeah, but watching the replay, what actually happened? Just flick it over the. I don't even know how he did that.
No, no, brilliant. I mean, you've got
Yeah,
to take your hat off to good play, listeners, and that was brilliant defending. I mean, I think our own Tristan Kramer
yeah,
possibly gets man of the match by default because he's just so effortless in his
yeah,
style. But then it was the same kind of level that the Cabango there produced. But yeah, hero to a villain to hero because there's Coburn not getting a chance that maybe he should have expected to score, but then a few moments later a nice kind of nod in from close range from a head back from Jake Jake Cooper. Oh, listeners, it's been a long day already. Jake Cooper heads back, and Josh Coburn's at the far post to nod it in. Nice finish, and it felt a bit like justice being done there. Will, would you agree?
yeah. He's
Redemption. I've written on my notes.
yeah,
Big word, isn't it?
yeah. He's had a few chances this season,
Yeah,
and I always I think Alex made the point of it when I asked him about it after the game that the most important thing for strikers is being able to get there. You don't want, you don't. The worst thing with a striker is someone who doesn't get involved in the game and looks like a bystander. That's the last thing you could say about Josh Coburn.
no,
He's
100%. Yeah,
if you have enough chances, eventually it's going to go in, and you hit a hot streak, you get confidence. So hopefully it's the start for him that he feels. I saw something on Millwall TV where he said he feels a lot more. I don't know if it was relief or he was just good to have it off his back, but he's got it off his back. He got a goal. It was a very important goal. Difference between no points and 1 point.
yeah,
Hopefully, the strikers haven't really been scoring apart from Langstaff this season. So,
yeah.
a good time for them to sort of get going.
That's a very nice segue into the main incident of the early part of the second half. Will, you should do this for a living, mate. The Langstaff moment, which still haunts I said it would haunt my dreams. It actually did. I woke up this morning with that moment going through my head. I think, obviously, loose play from the Swansea defence. Anyone that hasn't seen it, loose play gives the ball to Mill and it puts Langstaff into space with a lot more time, Will, than I think he thought he had in real time. He kind of rushed at the shot, really, and it went to the one place that you didn't want it to go, which was the defender on the line. But I think with the benefit of hindsight, he had more time to play with there to pick his spot and block and put it away and seal the game for us, really.
Yeah, that was another one. From what I remember, it was Coburn who it was a bad pass and he was sort of on
Mm.
it. and turned it over. Again, you probably had a slightly better vantage point purely because of where you were sitting. But for me, it did look a bit like he panicked. Like
he did. Yeah.
it's because against Norwich, he looked so composed when he finished that. He had all the time. When you've got a lot of time, I guess it doesn't always work in your benefit because you're overthinking, where am I putting this? But he looked so composed against Norwich, and he's such a natural goal scorer. But he felt a bit like a deer in the headlights, I guess. It would have been great. Like third goal for the club. Another winner. Another 2-1 away from home. It would have been a great story. So it's a real shame he couldn't.
Just couldn't put it wide either side of the defender, and it was in the net. But there it was. I think you're right. I think that he didn't realise he had more. He probably could have taken it in a yard, come in slightly with it, and put it away. But there we are. I think he got the piano off of his back at Norwich, and now he's put that Steinway back on his shoulders again slightly with that miss. But there we go. Moving along, I mean, I had no sight of this in real time, Will. I don't know how much you could see of the penalty shout. They were livid. I mean, the Swansea manager's talking about a stonewall penalty. I think with the benefit of slow motion, different angles, I think we dodged the bullet there. The Jake does pull on the man's shirt inside the 6-yard box, and, we got away with one there. I think that was a penalty in truth, listeners, but it wasn't given. And that left Swansea howling for injustice. But I don't know how much of it you saw in real time.
Yeah, it looked to me. I had a decent angle of it. It looked pretty blatant, unfortunately. I think Alan Sheehan had the right to be fuming. It was funny actually because again, I have a great sort of view. How much both, especially Alex and all his team, really went up to the fourth official a lot and were complaining. They would run up. There was one moment where I think they were trying to bring on Mihailo and Billy. And the goal, and it was after Langstaff had one blocked and went up for a goal kick, and they were like, "Okay, let's bring him on." And they didn't. He sprinted. It's like that, a bit like that. That Mourinho, that viral clip where Mourinho gets. Sort of reminded me a bit of that, where he just ran over and like, "What's going on?" and really remonstrated. If anyone who thinks Alex, maybe I don't know if this is a charge ever leveled at him. If anyone who thinks Alex is detached or doesn't care that much. They need to come watch him.
A close-up view of the man. No, I get no impression that he's detached from the game. That's for sure, listeners. I mean, obviously you've got a better view of it there than we had, but
Well, then his opposing number usually, that's for sure.
I mean, it's a cliche that these games are games of fine margins, and I think again the disallowed goal was a fine margin. I mean, again with the benefit of slow motion replay, you see that Bender does actually have just 2 hands on the ball, which makes it a foul to kick it out. But it was a close run thing. And on another day, you can see that going against us because I think moments earlier, the referee had given a decision against the Swansea goalkeeper, where it was a shot on target by Marku, and he got down low at the near post. And I think he penalised Langstaff for coming in for the similar kind of challenge. So I think he probably felt morally obliged, especially with Alex Neil and his staff bending his ear, or the fourth officials here. He's got to give it there. But I think that was one of those fine margins again, because on another day that gets given, Will,
Yeah, I think Swansea fans, it's typical. Referees usually get booed coming off games regardless, But I think Swansea fans were very aggrieved at the end of the game.
With the penalty and that, I guess. But,
it's like 2 flips of the coin, I guess, that go against them. I think the Idol one was a bit more, that I don't think they can have much legitimate grievance about it. You can say in real time a referee might give it. It was funny because obviously Kamzus and Ida's just sort of standing around looking a bit clueless, then takes him a good 2 seconds to realise the ball's still in play and boosts into the net. It was like a comedy sketch or something. He looked a bit like...
Yes.
Slapstick,
slapstick comedy, yeah. There we are. Finished 1 each. Strange end game. I mean, maybe listeners didn't really... There was a lot of howling from the home fans because they wanted the final throw-in to be taken quickly, and they just seemed to... It's like a brain freeze. They just took too many seconds, and the referee, I think, got irritated with that and blew up for full time when maybe they would have wanted one last ball into the box. That was an odd finish as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was a few bits. I think honestly, they'll just be delighted to be out of South Wales with a point and not have to go there again this season. It was
I can second that emotion. I can second
yeah,
that emotion.
yeah, 12:30 kickoff to Swansea, not easy. It's not
Early
my thing.
start. I got back to the station. I don't know, you've probably been later than me with your post-match stuff, but I got on the first train out of Swansea, and it was a bit like being loaded onto a sealed carriage, which didn't. At the end of the carriage, are you a Millwall fan? Yeah, get on here. And then there was like about one carriage packed with us all, and thankfully I had my headphones listening, so I could listen to some music rather than the kind of the 2.5 hours worth of no one likes us, we don't care repertoire. Which is nice, listeners. But it does after about 5 minutes of it, you think, all right, boys, that's enough. But anyway, there we are. That was my sealed carriage return to London yesterday, dear listeners. A valuable point on the road is how I summed it up. Well, I suppose that's how you got to see it. Really, it's a difficult place to go. Another cliche for you, there, mate.
Yeah, well, it's funny because as I meant, I did a sort of piece. I spoke to a Swansea reporter ahead of the game. And I was just thinking, my two memories of Swansea last season of Millwall edging them out in a game of fine margins.
Yeah,
I thought maybe they'd have that sort of that ability to do that again. That they probably could have if Langstaff puts it, a couple of meters to the left or right or whatever. But yeah, I think Alex himself said a win wouldn't have been probably not a deserved result. I think they'll just be pleased to get away from a tricky ground to go to with a point.
Yeah,
not have to go there again this season. And just keep, a loss after Watford, I think would have been really detrimental to the sort of morale. Because, I don't think footballers spend their time reading Twitter's comments, but they can sort of guess the general mood, and things do change very quickly from when they're winning, H piss the league, and if they're losing, it's Alex Neil's an idiot.
You go from villains to heroes to villains to heroes, minute by minute.
So I think it was good for them to not lose and keep the momentum going, I guess, because they've got a tricky one on Wednesday.
Well, I was just going to mention Coventry at home Wednesday night. Coventry, I know that the table is already in its early stages. Middlesbrough looking quite a strong side already at the top. Anyway, Coventry in second on 13 points and a whole bunch of sides, and then us on 11. So not very far behind them. That's a big game, actually, Wednesday night. Well, big chance for the Lions to get some momentum rolling, get a performance in. There was some strange moments, yes, just going back to it. There was a strangely kind of not quite sleepiness to it, but there seemed to be moments when nothing was happening after a long time. It was a very odd, wasn't a high-powered game, was it? And we would need a bit of that on Wednesday night, I think.
It was a strange one. It sort of ebbed and flowed. So the start I felt was quite high octane, and there was a good energy to it. And it was, I thought, after a tricky sort of opening 25 minutes, I thought there was a good sort of back and forth to it and pace to it. I felt second half was strangely stilted until Alex made that first double change.
We started to look a little bit more with it then, didn't we, at that point?
It felt, and then that opened the game a bit more, and then Swansea came into it. They made a few changes themselves, and they sort of came into it as well. Yeah. It was a really weird sort of I don't want to say casual, it was just a lot of Swansea passing about. I remember at one point I had a look because I've got Optimum, I can check the sort of stats. From 45 to minute 65, and people are going to fact check this, and I'm probably wrong. I'll be very embarrassed.
I won't fact check it. Don't worry about that. I won't check.
They had 80% possession, but I think neither side had a shot. So it's just sort of.
Well, that's how it seemed in the States to me without that.
A snooze fest, to be honest. I was like, where's the game gone? And then the game came back, fortunately, and I was sort of having to type at supersonic speed in the last 20 minutes because things kept on happening.
Great stuff. Will, big thank you, mate. Do tune in or log on to the News at Den Plus, dear listeners. I will stick a link in the show notes. Great coverage on News at Den from our man here, William Scott. It's a minor subscription in your life, and you get a lot of Millwall news. So do check out News at Den Plus. Will, big thank you for joining me on this Sunday afternoon, Sunday lunchtime now it is. So I'm gonna let you go, mate. Big thank you, Will Scott.
Cheers.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Between two-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN, you try to be in control of how your info is protected. But many other places also have it, and they might not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it. Guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast for 40% off. Terms apply.
Hello?
Hi Nick, Rob Abbott here. Hope you had a enjoyable afternoon in South Wales. Made even better by us taking home a point. I would have taken a point prior to the game. I think I'm watching the match as well. It was probably fair. Got to give credit to us. We got away again. We haven't lost the game, and we come from behind. But yeah, that's the first half there. The first half an hour, it was absolute dire. The way we were playing, on and off the ball. I thought in the first half an hour, Derek was the only one that was showing any impetus on getting things going. But in saying that, in that first half an hour, we had 3 chances, 2 of them half chances. Barlow shot from 20 yards, Smallbone dragged a shot from the edge of the area, and then the big chance in that first half an hour, I thought, was when Smallbone put it onto his left foot and then completely made a meal of the finish. He was trying to curl it in the corner, and he put it about 7 or 8 yards wide. But look, we went 1-0 down. The goal was comical to concede. We lost the ball on the edge of the area, missed the tackle. Joe Bryan went for the intercept, didn't get it. A scuff shot by them, and to give credit to their forward, how he's pulled off a little trick there to get that going at the goal, and then Leonard just unfortunately hasn't reacted. But anyhow, 1 down after half an hour, playing very poorly, but had a few chances, and then we come into the game. Amaku started to look a bit of a threat. Barlow started getting on the ball a little bit more. Initially when Amaku made that burst and got to the byline and crossed it, I was just like, oh no, Coburn's missed an absolute sitter again. How's he put it over from there? But then I'm watching the replay, it's unbelievable defending, 1, to win that ball, and 2, get it over his bar rather than in his own net. And it was good to see Amaku actually, albeit didn't end up in the goal for us, he actually made the right decision there when he got to the byline, and it was nearly an unbelievable ball. He looked lively from half an hour on. I thought he looked lively against Watford the other night. He's just got to work on that final decision-making end piece, I think. Going back to the game, I think going in 1-1, we were well worth a 1-1 at half-time, despite that poor first half an hour and a good last 15 minutes, and delighted to see Coburn get that goal, and hopefully a few more follow suit. Second half, it was just an even game, hey. One thing that stood out, the ref was absolute dog shit in the second half, and I say that we got away with a blatant penalty. I don't know what Cooper was doing, but he was a diabolical referee. Really good in the second half to see Alex Neil make attacking subs, bringing on the Serb, bringing on Langstaff, Negley, Bangura Williams obviously come on but didn't get that long to impress, but we're getting more players back and there's more depth there. And then just read an article as well, apparently Aziz and Kundal will be available for midweek, so yeah, it's good to see, because this championship is so tight. I've said it from day one. I don't think there's an outstanding team this year that's going to run away with it. So there's going to be ups and downs, but we've just got to stay in there. And the more depth we've got, especially off the bench, gives us more chances of picking up points, turning losing positions into draws, or turning those draws into wins. So I'll be intrigued with a selection midweek, albeit Aziz and Kundal will probably be on the bench. They won't start, but it's really good to see that depth. Mentioned the subs, Billy Mitchell come on. I thought Billy brought loads of energy when he come on. I'd love to see how many touches he got. He was involved non-stop when he was on. Made a great tackle on a little burst, but he thought he was Pirlo there trying to curl it into the top corner. One little criticism of him there, of his little cameo. He should have laid the serve in there, and it would have been a good opportunity for him. But it's good to see him back. Yeah, bringing that energy, getting on the ball a lot. So, will he become our number one midfielder in a few weeks when he's fully match fit? I'm surprised he come on actually for Derek, because Derek was impressive again, and I thought Luongo looked like he was tiring on TV, and the last 5 minutes, fair play to him, and then the 7 minutes of added time, Luongo looked like he was dead on his feet. Overall, a fair result. I'll take that point beforehand, and we move on to Coventry at home, which is going to be a very tough game. They are up in second, albeit we're only 2 points behind them. They're free scorers. So, let's hopefully we can pull something out the bag. And we're going into it, even though we're at home, as a little bit of underdogs, which I think will suit us. The Millwall way, isn't it? We prefer the underdog rather than the expectation of us to win the game. I think a midweek will help as well. Onwards and upwards. Take care.
Hey, Nick, Glyn here. So a 1-1 draw, I think, ultimately was a fair result. I know during commentary they were claiming that Cooper was lucky for not getting carded or sent off by putting hands on the back of players. But actually, and if you look at the replay of the goal against us, Smallbones pushed over, 2 hands into his back, and it was going on all game, both sides. So I think it would have been brutally unfair if the ref had pulled up our one player on that one occasion, although it wouldn't have surprised me. I wanted to just say, I thought Coburn he's doing everything right other than scoring a goal. He was very unlucky with that clearance from sort of 2 feet out by the defender, who, quite frankly, pulled off a miracle, stopping that from being a goal. Because I think if he hadn't have got his toe to that ball, Coburn would have definitely have stuck it in the net. And I'm glad for Coburn he got that second one. And actually, his performance and his hold-up play and his link-up play was pretty good from that point. And he's obviously got a very important role in the defensive area as well, because he's always positioned in front of the goal and has a task of attacking the ball and defending. He does that really well as well. So I'm glad he's got his goal, and hopefully that'll be the start of better things for him. I would love, if anybody gets a chance, all these podcasts are going on, to talk to a defender that's played against him, because I'd love to know what they feel. I would imagine they probably think he's actually quite a handful, and just because he's not getting the goals, we should maybe just consider the other areas of his game where he does contribute a great deal, because he actually is throwing himself about quite a lot now. And I thought he played quite well overall. I think Mizu Sako and Ballo are improving. They've definitely got a lot to contribute, and they are improving, but they're definitely adapting to the game as well. So they're not quite there. It's fantastic to see Billy on the pitch. He looked very comfortable from the first minute he got on there. So that's a huge positive to see him back in the team as well. Got to say, I think Brian and Leonard are holding up an end. They're putting in 6.5 out of 10 performances for me, and honestly, I think Leonard doesn't really have an alternative behind him, so he's probably not going to lose his place. But I have to look at Zach Sturge and think, why is he not playing instead of Joe Bryan? Joe Bryan's done okay, but nothing outstanding, and Sturge has actually played really well. So it'll be interesting to see where the manager goes going forward. But anyway, overall, a fair result, and some really good positive signs that things are improving. So come on, you Lions, on to the next game.
Hello, Nick. Aussie Dave here after the draw against Swansea, which overall I thought was a fair result. Could have won, could have lost, but we drew. A few points from the game. The first one is Imaku. What's happening? He's a right-footed winger playing on the right wing. This is mind-blowing. And I thought he looked more comfortable and effective playing on the natural right side like the good old days. And interesting, later when Negley came on and he temporarily played in the left, and he put in a fantastic cross with his left foot from the left wing. I reckon this is much better for us than this fancy inverted winger stuff. Next point, a small bone. I thought he was very promising. I've always thought he's been a good player when playing for other teams. He's got a great football IQ, and he was involved in some good moves. You could argue he helped to set up their goal, but anyway, I'm really looking forward to him playing either as a midfield, or I think he played almost like a number 10 against Swansea. The next point, the inventiveness for free kicks. I looked at Swansea, who I think are not a bad team. And every time they did a free kick, you could see they had some predetermined play, and it was quite clever. Never quite came off. And then I reflected over the years on our free kicks and the usual hoof it up to Coops and the others. And we've never really had that. And I thought, that's clearly an error. I would have thought AN would look at as a way of improving our chance of getting goals. Though, ironically, our one goal yesterday was... as you know, Bryant on the halfway line was going to do a long ball in, probably as the free kick, but he put it down the line of Ballo, and Ballo crossed, and we got the goal. So you could argue there was a wee bit of inventiveness there. The next point I want to make, I actually made last week, but maybe it got lost in translation, and it's the way that Alex Neil uses our number 9, whether it's Coburn or Ivanovic. We still do a lot of playing up to them with their backs against a big burly defender and almost looking for them to knock it on for running through in the good old days. But that's a very low margin. And I quite liked the way the Swansea full of number 9 played, Vitpotnik, I think I got the name right. He often was coming up to the halfway line and joining in the build-up. And by the time they got forward and into our penalty area, he was running at the goal looking for passes, whereas most of the time our players are often receiving the ball with the players on their back. So I think the way we're using our number 9 doesn't help the fact that they're not scoring. I know Coburn got a goal. And finally, last thing, man of the match. Well, I thought for the second game in a row, Kramer was excellent. I thought Imaku was close behind. He's a bit like a Curec says, a bit good in parts, but I thought playing on the right, he looked okay. And Billy looked very lively when he came on. And I won't be surprised if he starts on Tuesday, which leads on to my final point. We've got 2 massive games at home this week. I hope we get a good crowd on Wednesday. And I'd be happy with a win and a draw at those 2 games. Come on, you Lions.
Achtung, Millwall.
Who do you want to watch?
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
All right, we are going where?
Back to school shopping.
This is the playoffs for parenting, aka getting ready to get back to school. As we get ready for back to school,
Doesn't matter your income, your race, your background, whether you have a disability or not.
Our public schools are a place where all kids feel like they belong.
My child.
My children. My family. My friends' kids.
My community.
All students.
All students.
All students belong in a great public school.
Let's get ready for back to school at nea.org/backtoschool.